Hey everyone, welcome back to Cody Tarot. I'm your tarot reader, Cody. So for today's pick a card, I have a very interesting one. I kind of am building off of a pick a card I did a while ago, where it was like your future spouse's first impression of you, what they like about you, and I pulled physical traits for that too. So we're gonna be doing something very similar today. We're gonna be doing what makes your future spouse hot, or more specifically, why you find your future spouse attractive. Like, what is it about them that is attractive to you? So we're going to be getting into that. I have the physical characteristics as well today. So we're going to be pulling the physical characteristics and then also some psychological components of why you think they're hot or what makes them hot to you. So I wanted to get a good amount of groups today. So I got 5 groups for the reading today. And I'm going to try to go in as much depth as possible, but I still want to keep it lighthearted and fun and stuff like that. So yeah, I haven't done the reading yet. So this is all like you guys are witnessing the first, burst of intro in this creativity. Burst of creativity in this intro. Oh my gosh, tongue-tied already. Okay, so let's get into the piles. For group 1, we have this green calcite. Oh, and I apologize if you hear, I don't know if you can hear it in the video, but there is a train that is being tested in my neighborhood. And so they're testing, the horn keeps blowing on and off all the time. So that's, if you hear that in the background, that's what that is. Also, we have the Smokey Quartz for group 2. So it's group 2. Group 3 is this Aquamarine. Group 4 is this Kunzite, this pink Kunzite. And last, group 5 is Stillbite. All right, so you can take all the time you need to pick your crystal. You can pause the video here if you need to. And without further ado, just a friendly reminder, there's no right or wrong way to pick your crystal. Whichever way works to get you the most accurate reading is the correct way. And let's move right along with group number 1 with the green calcite. Hey, group 1, this is if you picked the green calcite crystal right here. Great choice, guys. So let's get into your reading. I pre-drew oracle cards for this reading, and specifically, these are the ones that wanted to come out of the deck. We have 2 animal oracle cards, a Whispers of Love card, a few of these Making Magic cards, and one of my numerology guidance cards. So overall, one of the first things that I can see about your person or your future spouse is with the frog card here right next to the change. This is the first overarching theme that wants to come through. It's like this person, they've gone through a lot of changes in their life. And that's one thing that I feel like you find very attractive about them is their basically adaptability and kind of their progression through their life and how they've gone from one position to another position to another position. So, for example, their personality may have undergone some changes in their lifetime. And that's something that you find hot. I feel like something that maybe has frustrated you in the past with partners is partners who don't change with the times or don't change with the situation or don't adapt to different things. I definitely see that this person is very, very adaptable, and they kind of change as their life progresses. So if circumstances around their life change on them, they kind of can adapt to those changes, adapt to that different way of living, that different environment. I kind of see that again here with the frog, who can also be on land, but also can swim in water. I see that this person is very adept at blending in multiple different environments very easily. With 5 with the change here, I see this person is very adventurous. One thing that I'm seeing that makes that you feel like your future spouse is very hot is because they are very adventurous. They have this sense of like passion and excitement for new things and travel that is really, really prominent with them. We see this again here with the fish. I definitely feel like with their life, with the fish, I'm thinking of salmon and how they have to swim upstream. I feel like their life has taken quite a bit of effort, but they keep pushing on anyway. So even though there's kind of obstacles in their path, they have this way of like surmounting them. As the fish kind of swims upstream, I'm seeing them surmounting these obstacles, you know? It's interesting because I definitely see there's this really adaptable side to their character where they can go with the flow. It's like they can stop and like drift downstream, but when it's time to move upstream, they can also do that. So that's kind of coming through with them. One thing too with the 2 water signs coming through is this person might have a lot of water sign placements, a lot of like Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces. One thing that I'm seeing with the fish here, Pisces could be very prominent with them. But at the same time with this moon, this red moon right here, I think of the color red as survival and kind of the root chakra. And then the moon I think of as intuition. And so with this fish here, I'm seeing this fish kind of slipping out of situations that are tricky or that would cause them to get caught or something like that. Something where they've been in these situations and they will probably be in them still when they're with you. They have this way of being able to be in tricky situations and at the same time slip out of them unscathed, right? The scales on the fish are reminding me of protection. So in some ways they're very protected. And I see the fish and the frog as both very magical creatures. But I see them evading a lot of situations that are dangerous or traumatic or something along those lines because their intuition kind of guides them to be in the right place at the right time or to slip out of those situations when it's the right time to slip out of those situations. This person might be somewhat aloof in a sense, but yeah, going with the fish swimming upstream, we also have the perseverance card, which is coming through, which is kind of, it says the motivation to keep going despite the odds. And that's something that I'm seeing really clear with them as one of your making magic cards. And is one of the things that kind of creates this ability in them to just get anything done. They have this perseverance, the ability to swim upstream against the current in order to achieve their goals, right? These are kind of coming through as their, in a sense, like abundance cards for them, or with the Making Magic deck, these are supposed to be like sigils for spells that you can cast. So I definitely see this person has these kind of attributes that almost seem magical. So with all those safe and happy travels, as protection from harm when journeying, this is so true with the 5 here. They love adventure, they love travel, they love going on trips. You might really enjoy this partner as your future spouse is because one thing is like if you've been on trips before and like the trip just doesn't go your way, doesn't go well. Like for example, I can see you guys in the past being on specific trips or journeys where you run into a lot of bad luck, or maybe you get stuck in another country, or you get stuck somewhere and you like can't find your way around, or you lose track of the map, or you can't you can't understand the language, something like that. I see that like travel has been maybe difficult for you guys in the past. But I'm definitely seeing with this person with change in 5, and especially because they're so adaptable, this is like the perfect travel companion. Like this travel companion in a way can like speak the other language. They know how to navigate in different foreign environments. They know how to kind of get around in that way. They know how to travel safely. So for example, they might be a really good driver. They might actually have, for some of you with the prosperity card, they might actually have access to their own private plane. That's for some of you. If your person has that much money, they probably have their own private plane. I see this person really enjoys traveling a lot, and it's a big part of their life. It's kind of one of the reasons why it lets them kind of like with the change card, it lets them kind of adapt, is the best way to put it. They kind of really enjoy traveling to different locations, different places, and adapting with the times when they get there. And it kind of gives them the ability to use that adaptable ability. It's like the travel and the adaptability go hand in hand. And like I mentioned with prosperity, a prosperous business with riches and success. I definitely see this person is probably really good or successful in their own business. They have this ability to kind of make the most out of life. I'm also seeing the golden triangle right up here with the frog, and it's kind of reminding me of abundance and riches and stuff like that. So that's one thing that's like coming through with your person, is that they have like an abundance of towards them, or they live an abundant lifestyle. So something about them, they could have a lot of money, they could be well off, or they could be wealthy. And with a prosperous business, with riches and success, I'm seeing that at some point in their life, they're going to own their own business, and this business is going to make them a lot of money. So even when you meet them, if they're not involved in a business, I see that one day they're going to achieve some kind of business or successful business situation where they're like working either within a company or they start their own company. For most of you, I'm saying that they start their own company. They kind of start their own project, basically. But with this transformation card, I see that it might start from the ground zero, like not a lot of supporters or people to buy their products or something like that. But then as they continue forward, they kind of get stronger and stronger and stronger with that perseverance. And because of all their traveling, they get all this wealth of knowledge that helps them deal with these people in their business very effectively. Another thing, speaking of dealing with people effectively, with choose love, you always have a choice. Make yours with love. This person always chooses the most loving path. So for example, if there's a situation where they have the option to either get mad at someone or, or kind of show them pity or show them care, concern, this person always goes for the latter. I feel like this person, as tough as they are, they still have that backing of intuition, that backing of emotion that kind of sensitizes them to people in their life situations. I feel like this person has a strong amount of empathy. If not empathy, this person has a strong amount of sympathy. So if they hear someone's story of suffering, they will reach out to that person and help them. I am specifically hearing if they hear their story of suffering. So for some of you, if you don't share your pain with this person, they might not recognize that you have that pain, if that makes sense. And it's interesting because they are pretty intuitive, so maybe they feel it on some level, but their psychic abilities are not as in tune as like someone who is a true empath, right? Where they can just feel it and they can like walk up to you and be like, you know what? I know you're going through some things. I can feel it, right? This person, on the other hand, it's like if you tell them a story or something, then they start to relate to you. They start to feel for you. So I feel like this person is good with people who share their feelings. I feel like this person needs people to share their feelings with them or share their emotions with them in order for them to see clearly what is going on with that person. But when they do share those emotions and stuff, this person shows these people a lot of love. People, this person might not show a lot of love, not because they don't want to, it's because they don't feel like these people need it. I feel like this person is kind of like wants to give love to those who need it, And so some people who are very stoic or who are very unemotional or who hide their feelings or don't show their feelings, I feel like this person doesn't give them as much sympathy as they would a person who shares those feelings with them and kind of is able to open up with them. It's like when they receive that empathy, they give it back like tenfold, So that's a few things that we're seeing right off the bat with some of the oracle cards. I'm probably going to get more into fish and frog as we continue, as I pull physical characteristics. But let's pull some physical characteristics about this person. Let's see. Okay, that's a good amount. All right, so let me put these down over here. Okay, so let's see. Physical characteristics about this person. Moving these over to the side. First one we have is figure. Okay, this person, one thing that makes them really hot to you, one thing that makes them really attractive to you is their figure. They have this beautiful figure. So I'm seeing specifically like it's your type. It's like the type of figure that you're attracted to. So whether that's like if you're a male viewer of mine, if that's like the hourglass shape, or if you are attracted to like the triangle build, the muscular triangle build, whatever the figure is that you find really beautiful, this person has that figure. Eyes. Okay, I'm seeing that this person has really beautiful eyes. Something about their eyes are very hypnotizing. I'm looking at specifically this frog's eyes. I was looking at the fish's eyes too. And these kind of creatures that dwell in the water have these kind of round spherical eyes. So I'm definitely seeing this person has these kind of like almost like wide eyes or something like that. Like they have these wide open eyes. I'm looking at this frog again and this fish. I'm using the animal oracle cards to pull characteristics for them. And so I'm definitely seeing that with the eyes and the figure, I feel like they have a very beautiful figure. Beautiful is the word that's coming to mind for most of you. For others of you, like very hot, But I'm seeing like beautiful. I'm seeing like almost elegant with the fish here. And the eyes are very, okay, with touch, I see this person, touch is really important to them. And I feel like what makes them hot is that they're kind of, I'm seeing that they always touch people in their environment, right? And specifically you, they love to touch you. So this is a person who really wants to like share their affection with you in a really beautiful way. Like this person wants to kind of like caress you or touch you or rub you or give you massages or something like that. One thing that I am seeing is that this person, it's interesting. If you try to touch them a lot, I see that they kind of, with the fish card, they slip out of your grasp or something like that. Or there's something about them being like slippery, like it's hard to catch them. And I think that's something that is coming through that excites you, or that's something that's like a turn on. I feel like it's one of those things where they kind of feel like they need to submit to you or something like that. So I feel like they like to touch you and tease you, but they don't like you touching them or something like that. There's something about kind of that's coming through as like they want you to kind of catch them, or they want something along those lines. Let me get more cards. We have soft. Okay, that's going with touch specifically. They have a soft, gentle touch to them. So one thing they do when they do touch you, it's very soft and gentle. It's very sensual is the word that's coming to mind. They might enjoy light, like stroking, like with their fingertips on your arms or something like that. That's coming through. They might really enjoy, like, I didn't get hair. I wonder if we got hair in here. Let me see. Yeah, because something that's coming through, it's not in the cards, but something that's coming through is hair. Like they like to rub their hands through your hair or something like that. We also have tattoos. Something else that makes them hot is they have tattoos. Or they have some kind of marking on themselves. I'm also hearing that maybe some of you might draw on each other or paint on each other's bodies, and that's something that makes you guys like really excited. I'm also seeing jewelry. So jewelry is coming through. If this person wears jewelry, I see that like their jewelry that they wear is like kind of exciting to you, or you like the way they wear jewelry. For some reason, earring keeps coming to mind. Like there's something about an earring or them having like earrings or something like that. I'm also seeing like necklaces and things of that nature. We also have hips. So something that's interesting about this person is you might like their hips. You might like the way they walk. And that goes along with figure. And with figure, I was kind of thinking about hips as well. Also with jaw, this also goes along with figure. This person has a really prominent jaw, or a really elegant jaw. It's like a jaw that like stands out, if that makes sense. And it's kind of like a jaw that you're very attracted to. I see that like something about their jaw and almost the way they move their jaw. There's something coming through where when they're like nervous, or when they kind of are, it's not even nervous. It's like when they're thinking or something like that. Like they click their jaw, or they move their jaw from side to side. I don't really know how better to describe this. But I am seeing this kind of like shifting of the jaw when they're like doing a specific thing in their head. Like if they're thinking about something, or they like pop their jaw, or they click their jaw or something like that. We also have movement. This goes back along with figure and hips, where you like to see them walk. You like to see how they move. They have a very watery way of moving through the world. So they have this kind of surreal-ness to them, where they seem kind of like this watery sway kind of thing going on. For those of you, I feel like this is more for like my male viewers, but this person wears, if they're a female, or for my female viewers who are into females, I think this person likes to wear makeup. Something about this, they like kind of like the illusion, and also this goes along with the tattoos and painting on each other. I feel like this person wants to like either like do your makeup or like work with you I feel like this person is very artistic. You know, we have the tattoos, the jewelry, and the makeup. I feel like this person is really into like, not body modification, but like body modification in the sense of like drawing on each other, or doing each other's makeup or something like that, or creating jewelry for the other one to wear. I feel like this person has this way of kind of like adorning you beautifully or something like that. So for a lot of you who are watching this, who are kind of like into stuff like that, or you have an artistic side yourself, or you really like other people's art, or you have this affinity for looking at art, or there's something along the lines of you guys kind of like people who are very artistic, or who are very fashion forward or something like that. You like people who dress elegantly or something like that. I'm seeing that With makeup, jewelry, and tattoos, this person will want to share that side of themselves with you. They will want to share that designer type side of themselves with you. And also they kind of want to kind of like bring you along. So they almost want to be involved in the stylistic choices of both of you. I also have feet. So there's something about this person's feet that are very, very attractive. Something that's coming in for my female viewers, they might have specific like veins on their feet that kind of make their feet really like beautiful or something like that. And we also have, last but not least, for sure not least, we have butt. This person has a really like attractive butt. Something about like the shape of their butt is really attractive to you. It's like the type of butt that you've always wanted. I don't know how better to describe this. It's kind of like, there's something very alluring and sexy about their butt. So that was all I'm getting for the physical appearances of the person. Now I'm going to pull some tarot cards to get a few more other aspects to this person. I'm going to move these words off the screen. So if you want to take a screenshot right now, or you want to keep this for later or something, I'll let you feel free to do that right now. And then we're going to get into the tarot cards. Okay, now we're going to move into the tarot cards. I'm going to move these aside, and I'm going to pull some tarot cards for this person. And we're going to get some more information on what makes them hot to you. Why are they hot to you? Okay, let's draw. I'm not going to take reversals for the tarot cards, so do I have room for 5? I'll just take 4. 4 sounds good. Okay, so let's see what you guys got. We have Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, that kind of thing about them owning their business is coming through, or something about them owning a business. We have 7 of Cups upright. We have Knight of Swords upright. And we also have the Judgment upright. Yeah, I see something that this person, what makes them hot to you is they have really good judgment, in the sense that they follow their passions in a way that is kind of like a guiding light for them, if that makes sense. So for example, if you're the type of person who has like bad luck with like making judgment calls, or maybe you get into tricky situations, or you feel like you are not making the best choices in life or something like that, I feel like this person has a really good sense of judgment. They're going to know how to help you make those choices yourself, and also have that ability to kind of like guide you in that specific way. I'm seeing that they have a way of connecting to their inner spirit, their inner part of themselves that makes those decisions. And I see that they have a way of bringing that out in others too. Judgment also specifically is a call to action. And it's usually like an angel, and they have like this trumpet, and they're summoning up people from, it's like kind of like Judgment Day, right? They're summoning up people from their graves, and everyone's, kind of naked, showing how fully revealed they are to the universe in this specific judgment call. So I feel like this person really has the ability to call up in arms people around them. They have the ability to kind of activate crowds or groups of people in a way that kind of gets people to follow them, is what I'm seeing. Yeah, with Knight of Swords, I feel like this person is very, very energetic. Like this person has a lot of energy. They might be always trying to get things done. With the Queen of Pentacles here and the Knight of Swords, I'm seeing this kind of energy of like, as quick as they think, or as quick as they converse, like I feel like how they talk and converse is the same, like quickness is also equal to the same amount of strength that they're able to get things done in their business world. For example, with the Prosperity card, I see that when they finally stumble upon this business that they want to do or accomplish, they have this ability to kind of like really be successful at it. And I feel like the more money they make at it, the more intuitive they become. It's like the money that they pull in is equal to their intuition in a sense. I'm seeing her because her eyes are closed, and she is a queen, so she does have that feminine nature to her. I feel like this person, the more successful they get at like money making and business opportunities, the better their intuition becomes with that specific thing. With 7 of Cups, it's interesting. I feel like this person, one thing you love about them, it's interesting. I feel like this person, they almost have a lot of options in life, or a lot of paths forward. They have a lot of choices to make, or they have a lot of opportunities to fulfill. There's something about them being like multifaceted, or maybe multi-talented, or having like a lot of talents or skills. I see this person with the 7 of Cups, this is going back to their adaptability. They have this way of kind of like, and this is also going with the Queen of Pentacles, the intuition. They have this way of selecting the best option. So that's going with Judgment too. It's like they have this way of selecting the best option, even when they can't see what's in front of them. It's like if someone gave them like, 5 different paths forward and said, you have to choose one, but you're not allowed to know what the paths are. I see this person has an ability to be like, you know what, this path feels right. This is the path that I need to go with. And they trust their instincts in that realm. I'm seeing this snake slithering away underneath the cups, the snake slithering away. And it's kind of reminding me of like temptation kind of fleeing from them. I feel like this person, because they have such a strong sense of judgment is also, it was one of the cards with an angel on it. So I definitely think this person's guided by like heavenly forces. This person really has a way of like pushing temptation off to the side to get what they need to get done. Yeah, and that perseverance is coming through again strong. I feel like the Queen of Pentacles here with prosperity, perseverance, it's like it's all linked up in that kind of realm for them. Their intuition helps them persevere even further. We see that again with the moon sign here with the red kind of survival instincts mixed in with the intuition. So really wonderful reading. That's kind of what makes your future spouse hot, or what's going to make your future spouse hot to you. This is also kind of what makes them hot to some other people as well. So keep that in mind. We see that again here with the 7 of Cups. This is a person that is actually, a lot of people are attracted to this type of person. Obviously, they're only going to have eyes for you. They do marry you. They are your future spouse. So they're going to be committed to you. But they do have this ability to attract a lot of attention from others. So you might have to like beat away the other suitors, that are coming for this person or something like that. So that was the end of your reading. If you really enjoyed that reading, please like or comment below. If you really resonated with my energy and you enjoyed the reading a lot, you can subscribe to my channel. I post pick-a cards like this once every 1 to 2 weeks. With that said, we're going to move on to the second group with the Smokey Quartz. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Hey, group 2, this is if you picked the Smokey Quartz. So if you picked this lovely stone, this will be your reading. So I've pre-drawn the oracle cards for today's reading. And then we're going to get into physical characteristics of why you find your future spouse hot. And then we're going to get into some tarot cards to further wrap up the reading. But I wanted to start with the oracle cards for today. So a few things that your future spouse is like something hot about them. With physical activity, the first thing that's coming through is kind of the key point about this person is this person has a lot of energy. We see that again here with the cheetah card. This person has kind of that ability to expend physical energy. What do I mean? So for example, this person might go to the gym regularly. They might be an athlete of some sort. They might be very physical in the tangible world. I see that something with physical activity is very, very important to them. We also see with the 6 and the 7 that adds up to 13. And I'm definitely seeing something along the lines of 13 equaling 4, 1 plus 3 equaling 4. This bringing a lot of structure to their life. This physical activity is something that they structure their life around. Or there's something that brings a lot of solid foundation to their life. It's really important to them. I definitely see with the stingray and the cheetah, they have kind of this sense of balance about them. With the stingray showing all the chakras and the stingray card, you can kind of see all the colors going down the stingray spine. I'm seeing that this person has an ability to they kind of have all their chakras aligned. They're very in tune with all centers of their chakras, their root chakra, their sacral, their solar plexus. They're a very balanced person. I think something that keeps them so balanced too is this physical activity. Something I see with the cheetah a little bit the cheetah is a very fast-paced creature, very not necessarily spontaneous, but still a predator, but very fast, very fast moving, gets into action very quickly, something along those lines. Now, the thing is with the tears in the cheetah's eyes, this is one thing that I see with the cheetah personality is this sense of sadness underneath the kind of physical vigor of the external appearance. It's the outside is so powerful and formidable and they're tough and they can withstand almost anything. But there is this kind of hidden sadness underneath that I think might take some time to uncover. But at the same time, we also have a water symbol and a fire symbol. So it's indicating a little bit of emotional sensitivities with the water symbol. There might be something where the way they process their emotions is what keeps them very balanced. They might have some kind of specific ritual where they process their emotions and that keeps them balanced. And so something that you really find hot about them is that they have this way of kind of like going within and keeping themselves centered. For a lot of you watching this pile, you're groups of people who need someone who is balanced and centered, because I see that like sometimes you guys feel off kilter, or you feel like there's like a lack of balance in your life. You might also feel a little unstable in the sense that you might feel a little lethargic sometimes, or you might feel kind of like, how do I put this? You just might feel like more, it's like once you get into activity, you're very active and you enjoy it and you like really like it, but it's almost like someone has to kind of push you into that activity. It's like you have this sense of like falling behind, I guess, of the crowd or something like that. I'm getting some kind of vibe of like that. But yeah, this person's very balanced. Something you love about them is that they are like so centered, so balanced, and they're very energetic. They have a lot of energy. They get a lot of stuff done. They really enjoy physical activity. I definitely see that this person is going to be someone who really enjoys like doing errands and stuff like that. So this person might be someone who really enjoys like doing certain things in life and like getting certain things done. And they just have a lot of energy that they need to channel into physical activity, basically. And this kind of sport or this activity that they do, it kind of keeps them grounded or structured is what I'm seeing specifically. It's almost like, and that's not to say they're chaotic. They're not that chaotic. They just know how to structure their lives. It's like they kind of see that everyone in this world is chaotic, right? Like even them, they are chaotic, you know? But they have this way of structuring and ordering their world and their life and their activities, and even structuring their own sense of self, like their sense of balance. And they have this way of putting it all together to create a very whole, complete personality is basically what I'm seeing. Let's see what else. Let's go over here to their little magical gifts that we see here. We have the festival creates an energetic blueprint for a fantastic party or event. I see this person is really excellent at planning parties. They're definitely an extrovert is what I'm seeing. And they definitely have this ability. They can add structure to a party event to create kind of like an environment where people feel safe in to have fun, basically. So with the festival also, they might actually like to go to music festivals. They might like go to like dancing and going to events like that. I see like this person with the energetic chakras, I feel like this person is very well rounded in a sense, like they have the ability to, you know, like be someone who goes to the gym all the time, and then they have the ability to kind of like use their intuition, and then at other times they're guided by higher powers. Sometimes they have willpower, sometimes they're creative, you know, sometimes they're very loving and heart focused. It's like they have this sense of balance about them. It's almost like when you meet them, you're gonna feel like nothing's really like, they don't really have like, they kind of present themselves this way too. It's like they don't really have a weakness, right? There's something about they've really worked on their strengths so much that they don't really have a specific weakness of like, and it's really weird because I like, as someone who studies psychology and different personalities and stuff like that, everyone has a weakness, right? Like, so I'm just wondering if I'm not seeing it right off the bat, but it's definitely something that this person is a powerhouse, something to be dealt with. And it's even interesting. I'm seeing that the stingray, because the stingray is kind of a more flimsier animal, you know? I'm seeing that this person with the chakras aligned on the stingray, they might have this thing where when you meet them, they might not know they have strengths in every single area. They might not know they're so strength focused and multifaceted, because I feel like a lot of these strengths they might see as weaknesses, but they actually are really strong in them. It's like they might not, and for example, they might not know how to use their intuition or something like that, but once you like explain to them certain things about intuition, they pick up on it like that. They pick up on it like so quickly, and they're like using their intuition for everything. You're like, okay, fine, I guess you're really good at this. Like, and they are like, they're good at pretty much anything as long as they stay balanced, you know. And I see that they have to process sad emotions in order to stay balanced. It's like when they go to either meditate or when they go to the gym or when they do their sport or something like that, they have to process their sad feelings in order to stay balanced. So for example, this person might struggle if they encounter a lot of things that make them feel sad. So like if they're around people who are like cruel to other people and that saddens them and it makes them feel bad, or they makes them feel like the world's not a good place or something like that, I'm seeing that they need to process those emotions in order to remain balanced or to stay collected. With Felix Felicius, this is just interesting. This person has this ability to create really lucky circumstances and lucky events. It's kind of like luck kind of follows them around wherever they go, and they kind of have this ability to kind of like just be in the right place at the right time is kind of what I'm seeing. But also serendipitous events goes even further. It goes into events that kind of seem out of this world or otherworldly. It's like you guys could be walking through a park or something like that, and then all of a sudden like thousands of butterflies start to fly around you or something like that. And they don't really know that all these lucky events are happening, but they just happen to them all the time. So they don't really see it, but it's like you can see it because it's like maybe you came from a position where you didn't have too many synchronistic experiences before meeting them. And so when you meet them, it's like, whoa, they're just like, or you did have synchronistic experiences and now they've like doubled. So you're really seeing the positives of this future spouse when you meet your future spouse. And that's something you find really hot about them, is that all these magical, lucky events kind of just happen to both of you when you guys are around each other. Something else with Trinka 5, manifesting money and income. I'm seeing something specifically. This person has the ability to manifest income into their life, but they don't always do it. They see it as like a chore. It's almost like the activity that they do to manifest the money seems like a chore or something they don't really tend to do. They might put it off. So for example, if that's scripting, they might be like, you know what? I don't really feel like manifesting anything right now. I don't feel like scripting. I want to just kind of keep it to myself or something like that. But when they do manifest money into their lives, they're very appreciative and very thankful because they have this money coming in. I am seeing more like lucky circumstances happening to them, more so than like raking in windfalls or bringing money into them like that. Because with manifesting money and income with the 5, I am seeing that they have to actively do this. It like takes effort for them to do it. So in order for them to get money, it takes actual effort. And something with the luck, it's like when this lucky thing and planning these parties and stuff doesn't take too much effort, so they rather do that. But every once in a while when they run out of money, they might have to be gently reminded, like, you know, you need to get that manifestation journal out, or you need to meditate and kind of, call, get however they do it, they need to like get more money into their life, this could just be indicating that they might get carried away with like projects or something like that, and they might need to like focus on income or focusing on getting income. Another thing that you find really hot about them with treasure your loved ones, it is important to love others deeply. Something they really love the people they love is basically like, you're never going to find this person saying like, if you ask them about, oh, who's that person? They'll say like, that's my best friend. I love them to death. They'll always be in my life, point blank. Like they're very, in a sense, loyal to those they love. So I'm seeing this especially with their family, that they really love their family and they treasure their family, and they're definitely very loyal to their family. One thing I'm seeing in here also with this little water droplet, there's a little water droplet in this card at the top, and it's like this woman has her hands and the loved ones are inside and the water droplet's coming down. I see that they, even though they feel sorrow and sadness pretty heavily, it's like with these hands, they're protecting their loved ones from the sad things in the world, or they protect their loved ones from things that would break their heart, essentially. So they're really good at doing that. I'm seeing this with like young children, especially. Like if you guys have kids or something like that with this person, they're going to really protect the children from things that are traumatic or toxic in their life and kind of keep the energy very pure in the family. Yeah, that's really wonderful. Let's see what else is coming through. Let's get the physical characteristics now. Okay. We've got some physical characteristics. I'm going to move them off over to here and I'll pull them out one by one. So first physical characteristics, we have eyes. It's interesting because eyes, I'm seeing it is coming with the cheetah thing, is like the cheetah with the sad eyes or the teardrops running down the eyes. I feel like the only way people can tell this person processes a lot of sadness, deals with a lot of sadness, is through the eyes. They have very kind of sad, in a sense, eyes. Their eyes are kind of have this sorrowful look to them, basically. Let's see what else. We have feet again. Feet came out in the last group. They might have really beautiful feet, or there's something about their feet that are really lovely to you guys. And then we also have voice. Voice is interesting because with voice, I'm seeing something along the lines of like them having kind of like a deep voice, but at the same time, one rich with like lots of fluctuations. It's like they're, because I'm seeing the root in the yellow, orange, and red in the cheetah right here, and I'm seeing how this circle kind of centers around right where the bottom of their throat is. So they kind of speak from that area. They speak from the area that's like right in the, let me see if I can imitate their voice. They talk like this. They have this kind of like way of communicating where they'll talk like this and then it'll go up a little bit, but then they go back down to being low or something like that. So their voice is kind of like that. They have this kind of like way of kind of having a lower voice, but then it still fluctuates within that. They're not just like holding in, like they're not that type of person that just holds a deep lower voice. They have like range to their voice, but it is in that deeper register. Also legs, we have legs here, and I am seeing this cheetah running and their legs coming together. So I definitely think this person might actually cross their legs a lot, or this person has a way of kind of working their legs you kind of like just like the way they move their legs is what I'm seeing. Yeah, with legs coming out next to feet, I feel this person really takes care of their lower body, or there's something along the lines of this physical activity they do might deal with the legs and the feet. So this person might be with the cheetah quite, you know, they might actually be a runner, or they might be someone who runs or exercises their lower body a lot. If this is someone who goes to the gym, they might really work out their legs. They might really enjoy leg day. They have really elegant legs, muscular legs for most of you. With back, speaking of muscular, they also have a muscular back. There's something about their back muscles being like very sculpted is what I'm seeing. Also with the stingray, I feel like it's interesting. Their back's very sculpted, but it has this flexibility to it, if that makes sense. Like they might sit or move in ways where their back kind of curves or arches in specific ways. And so it's like watching this kind of like rolling muscular, like I don't know how to explain it. It's like their back has this way of kind of like rolling and all the muscles move underneath. Very interesting. We also have talking. I feel like you really enjoy when this person talks to you, or when this person has a conversation with you. I feel like intellectually you guys really get along with each other, and there's something about what you guys talk about. The fact that you're talking and your conversation is never boring, and just the fact of talking. I mean, we have voice too, so there's something coming through as a combination of like the way they speak and the way they talk. We also have eyebrows. Very interesting. Eyebrows is kind of going with eyes to me, but I'm seeing the eyebrows are more the focus of their energy. Like for example, with the cheetah, I'm seeing that this cheetah specifically, I'm seeing that the eyes might have a sorrowful look to them, but their eyebrows might have a more intense vibe to them. Like their eyebrows might literally be like strong or prominent eyebrows. If this is a woman, she definitely sculpts her eyebrows a specific way. I'm seeing the thin line in the stingray. She may have very thin eyebrows. Also, we have hair. This person has really lovely hair. They might have an actual mane. It's not a cheetah, but I'm thinking like lion mane. They might actually have like really lush hair. They might really take care of their hair. I'm hearing that like some of them have very specific hair products they buy, or they have a very specific hair routine where they like have really good hair. We also have makeup. So if this is like a woman or even a man, maybe I'm even seeing sometimes, I feel like with this festival card and the music festival things, I think this person really enjoys putting on makeup for these parties and these activities. And also if they're a woman, they just really enjoy makeup. Going back to the eyebrows too, if they don't have eyebrows, they might draw their eyebrows on. Smile. Oh wow. So this person has a really smile that like lights up a room. And one thing that I'm seeing is that going back to eyes, I feel like their eyes might have a sorrowful look about them, but as soon as they smile, their eyes get like happy and cheerful. It kind of softens the effects of their eyes and their eyebrows. So their eyebrows kind of have this way of softening when they smile, or their eyes have this way of softening. So it's like all the emotion on their face when they smile comes into balance. It's interesting. That kind of smiling and that happiness or that positivity with the stingray card keeps them in balance. So the more they laugh and the more they smile and the more they kind of light up, basically, the more balanced they kind of become. And last, oh my gosh, we have voice twice. So the voice is really, really important, right? You got voice twice. Voice is really important. It's something that is a very strong indicator for your person. I feel like this person is, I feel like for those of you watching this group, you might like specific tones in people's voices, and that is actually something that is really you want to hold on to as far as like the type of voice that you like in people, or something about the vocals that you like. You want to kind of hold on to that and kind of get someone or look for people with that type of voice, because your future spouse, one thing you have locked down on them or that you know about them is their voice. You have a strong way of like knowing what their voice sounds like. Or now here's the thing it's interesting with talking. I'm seeing that the way to like how you seal the deal by knowing who this person is, basically you're gonna know by their voice. But I'm seeing that like different people with different voices that are all very similar they're going to have different types of conversation they talk about. So for example, you might have one or two people that you meet with this type of voice that you're attracted to, but then when you start having a conversation with them, the conversation doesn't go anywhere, or the conversation kind of falls flat. So I'm seeing that, like, specifically it's both of them combined is what I'm seeing. So okay, so yeah, if you guys want to take a screenshot of this, I'll give you a chance to do that now, because I'm going to move them out of the way in a second. Okay, so we're going to move them out of the way. If you didn't get a chance to take a screenshot and you wanted to, rewind the video and you can screenshot the screen. Okay, oh, this card must have come out. We have 10 of Swords right here. Let's see. Shuffle the cards. We're just pulling like 4 extra cards, and after that we will wrap up the reading. Okay. We have the Hermit, 7 of Swords, and 3 of Wands. I'm actually kind of seeing some of these cards below these ones representing different things. So specifically the tarot cards are emphasizing some of the cards above, basically. So for the Hermit, we have this with treasure your loved ones. This is kind of coming across that this person is so protective of their loved ones, they might shield them. They might kind of keep them introverted away from specific things in their life. And it's interesting because I am seeing that, like, they have this way of soul searching when they're kind of in this state of mind. So if they're protecting your loved ones, or they're protecting loved ones in general, they have this ability to kind of close off and isolate with them and keep them protected, and also have this ability to nurture the soul when they're with their loved ones. So basically, they know how to kind of keep their loved ones protected, but at the same time, their soul really nurtured. They really take care of their inner selves and kind of let their inner selves grow, basically. And I think that's really important because it's like, no matter what, this person that they're protecting is always growing. So they get to learn about the world through their own self-knowledge and their own self-introspection. This person also could be a Virgo. That's something else that's coming through with Hermit. This person might have Virgo energy. With 7 of Swords, I see that there's something about this person, like knowing when to hide and when to kind of be like hidden from the world around them. And specifically with Stingray, basically talking about the chakras being aligned, right? This person has this ability to kind of like keep their healing activities, or like how they heal, how they process their emotions, how they process their sadness. They keep it very secretive or to themselves. They don't really share it too much with other people. I'm even hearing that they don't share the process too much with you. And it's almost like you'd want to have it that way. It's like you want them to heal, but you don't necessarily want to get down with them and heal with them. I'm seeing a very like, in a way, like you both kind of just understand that's what they need to do on their own, and they do it on their own, you know? We see that again here with the Hermit and the 7 of Swords. It's kind of like this, you know, interesting thing where they need to be kind of secretive about how they heal. With physical activity, I'm seeing another thing too with the 10 of Swords. They really clear their thoughts when they're doing this physical activity that keeps structure in their life. And that's something that that's something that really turns you on. Because with the 10 of Swords, we have these thoughts flying by, but this woman, there's a total empty background behind her. So I definitely think this person has a really clear head. And something that's coming through that you find really hot. For some of you watching this particular pile, I feel like you're very psychically in tune, and you actually can read people's thoughts, or you're so aware of people's inner psyches that you can actually sense when people have clear heads or not. Like, it's almost like, how do I put this? It's like you could be walking through a coffee shop or something, and you can literally feel the people thinking, if that makes sense. Like, you can feel thoughts like in their head, and it, like they could be stormy or something, but there is something about the thoughts in people's heads can be like feel bad to you or something like that. It's almost like I don't know if you guys watched the Fate the Wink saga, but what's that character's name? She's the empath fairy, the mind fairy, and Musa. And Musa basically, like, she meets this guy. This is in season 1, and he basically has such a clear head. Like, his head is so empty that she just loves being around him, because it's this like it feels like the absence of noise or the absence of emotions. It's kind of like that. This person is so empty on the internal mental realm that it's like a breath of fresh air, basically. It's like this person has this ability to kind of just like feel like open, fresh air. Like, I don't know how better to describe it. I'm like really feeling it. But it's hard to explain. It's like knowing that everyone has all these thoughts all the time, and you're just sensing the tumultuousness in other people's heads. But then this specific person, it's like when you meet them or encounter them, it's like clear. It's like, it's almost so empty that some of your thoughts start to get discharged into their head, if that makes sense. That's how like empty their headspace is. And I see that this physical activity that brings structure to their lives, it also creates that sense of emptiness or that sense of calm on an internal level for them. With Three of Wands and the Cheetah, I see that their energy kind of expands outwardly, but with these fires here, I see that they could also burn out, if that makes sense. I am seeing too, with that being right next to Trinket 5, the money thing that I was bringing up again, I see that this person is really good at manifesting or making money, but they need to be reminded, like, we need to make more money now or something like that. Because I am seeing that like this person kind of with the fires lit, it's like the fires are all blazing and they're looking out at the ocean and stuff. They're looking at the broader picture, the bigger goals, stuff like that. But they might feel like start to not really take care of the little minutia in their life or something like that. And they need to be reminded, like, you need to manifest more money or you need to do this. And I see if they walk through some spiritual exercises, that would be really beneficial. Three of Wands also makes me think of expansion. I feel like this person has a really expansive personality. They're really good at like making projects bigger and better and grander. And so that's something that's coming through for this person as well. I'm also with Three of Wands. I'm thinking of going with the flow with the surfboard. So that's something that else could be. But with that said, that's the end of the reading. I really enjoyed reading for you guys. If you enjoyed this reading too, please like or comment below. If you really, really enjoyed this reading and you resonated with my energy, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We're always welcoming new subscribers here at Cody Tarot. And with that said, we are going to move on to group 3 with the Aquamarine. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Hey, group 3, this is if you picked the, it's really close to the screen. This is if you picked the Aquamarine. So really cool stone. Just so you guys know, this is low grade aquamarine. You can actually purchase this type of aquamarine for relatively inexpensive, I believe. Okay, so let's get into your reading. First thing that is coming out to me, like right off the bat, is with this Cobra and this Tiger. They both have these like really intense stares, you know, like they're both like looking at you like really intensely, you know. And so I feel like this person is like an eye on the prize kind of person, you know. And at the same time, I feel like this person is a really intense stare. Like the way they look at people and things, their eyes might be either very beautiful or they just have this really intense way of staring at others. I'm also seeing with the Tiger and the Cobra, this person might be very mesmerizing or very hypnotizing. With 7 and 4 adding up to 11 and also representing a 2, I'm seeing that there's a sense of mystery about this person. They have this sense of mysteriousness about them. And at the same time, they just have this piercing eyes. Like, I don't know how better to describe it. This person just has the most intense eyes like imaginable. They have a way of like, especially because both of these are like predatory animals, they have a way of staring down their prey and getting them to submit to them, if that makes sense. There's something so hypnotizing about they have a way of using their eyes to their advantage. It's interesting because I feel like most people think eyes are the windows to the soul, but one thing you find hot about them is the way they manipulate their eyes. Like, there's a lot of people out there who can read people via their eyes, right? Like, they can say like, oh, I can know everything about you because I can see it in your eyes, or I can see everything about your eyes, you know? This person's eyes, they know how to work them in a very specific way to create kind of certain situations for those types of people where they kind of, how do I put this? They can confuse people like that by like projecting different energies through their eyes, if that makes sense. Like, they have a way of like manipulating their vision and the way they look at the world, where people can kind of misread what they're about because their eyes have this hypnotizing effect, if that makes sense. People get more lured in by the beauty of them, or they get more lured in by the intensity of them, or they get more lured in by like how they're affecting that person, you know. It's like there's something so amazing about their eyes that kind of Most people, you can kind of like see into their eyes and see who they are as people. These people, it's interesting. I feel like they're so good at manipulation with their eyes that they have this way of kind of like confusing those around them. I'm also seeing with like cobra and tiger and kind of the stripes on the tiger and the cobra kind of, I'm imagining the cobra kind of coming up and the guy playing the flute, and then like the cobra kind of coming up and like with the flute and the music. I'm seeing this person, there's just a sense of hypnotism. I see this person manipulates easily through their eyes. They have a way of using their eyes to manipulate. But anyway, point being is their eyes are very intense, and I feel like they can do a lot with their eyes, including turn you on. So I think that one of the things that makes you feel hot about this person is they have this way of looking at you that gets you so flustered and so hot and so kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. Like you guys, like I feel it's just with nature here, there's something very animalistic about your future spouse. Like they have this way of being like, just very intense energy is the best way to put it. And they have this way of kind of like, they could stare you down and it might make you weak at the knees or something like that. Their eyes are very, very intense. It's interesting. The other group, the eyes came out, I think in both piles, but this group specifically, these eyes are like so intense. Yeah, let's see what else I'm seeing. With nature here, I feel like this person really communes very well with nature, or there's something about nature. And with 7 and 4 breaking down to a 2, I'm definitely seeing this person has this way of like communing with nature and gaining a lot of intuitive insights from it. I feel like this person's very in tune with the natural world. So this is the type of person who might like to go on a lot of hikes. They might like to go on a lot of trips, like boating trips, or they might like to go to the beach a lot, or they might like to go on extreme like nature hikes, or things like that. This might include traveling, but might not. They might actually specifically have like a specific place in nature they go to repeatedly if they don't travel. Because I'm not seeing too much about traveling. I'm just seeing that they do connect with nature frequently in order to kind of recharge their batteries. And they're very animalistic in nature. They're very instinctual. They very much operate on those baser animal instincts. This person is a little different than most humans in the fact that they operate on these kind of raw energies, if that makes sense. So, for example, this is not the type of person who is going to be just nice to you because they want to be like friendly or something like that. This person kind of says what they mean or say what they kind of, it's not that they say what they mean, it's just that they do say what they mean. It's just, they operate based off instinct. So for example, if they sense a sense of fear from someone, if they sense someone as a threat, they are not afraid to kind of like say something to them to get them to back off. If they sense that someone is an ally or a friend, they're very protective over that person, but they operate based off instinct. I don't know really how better to describe it except to just say that. I feel like people watching, if you're watching this group, you might know what that means specifically. They're definitely someone who's very much like, for example, if you're the type of group that like you really appreciate animals for their specific simplicity of the animal that you encounter or the beauty of the animal that you encounter, specifically if you're in this group and you like wild animals, I'm definitely seeing something about this type of person would be perfect for you because this person has that kind of animal instinct. It's almost like you're the tamer, or you're meant to tame them, or you're meant to kind of tame their energies or something like that. So I'm definitely seeing that this person is coming across as very natural, very intense in that way. With Mystic Star, we have harmony in the home and great friendships. I feel like this person on a more, not the animal level that I'm talking about, on just the more other level that they are, it's like they have this ability to kind of maintain harmony in the home and great friendships. So they might have a solid core group of friends. They might run around in a pack, like a pack of wolves or something like that. They might have a couple friends that are very animalistic, very similar to them, but they might actually be the pack leader. So all the friends might have animalistic traits, but they themselves are the ones who are kind of leading the pack. They're the ones that are out in front. They're the ones that are kind of people listen to. They're the ones that are kind of hypnotizing the rest of the group into following them. There's something very carnal about this pile. With power symbol, cleanse, purify, and protect the physical body, I see a lot of this thing with the pack and the groups around them, and even just being in nature too, is they really want to keep themselves pure and cleansed, basically. And they do that with their pack, right? There's something about with the friend group, like having a sense of power, besides cleanse, purify, and protect the physical body, which I see that they do with power symbol, they are a symbol of power. That's kind of coming through as a very point blank way of saying the word. They're just a power symbol. They represent kind of a sense of power. They have a sense of power. They're very powerful. And it's interesting because I see that you're in a way, the way that the relationship's coming across is you're kind of like the tamer, if that makes sense. Like you tame them, like they're the wild beast and you're kind of coming in and you're taming them and you're kind of, in a way, you're kind of like helping them. In a way, you're like domesticating them. And it's an interesting dynamic that I'm seeing between both of you. But it's something that makes them very hot to you is the fact that they have to be tamed. I feel like you're the type of person who like really has this way of like working with things that are dangerous or working with things that are like kind of out of your comfort zone in order to kind of manage or help them, if that makes sense. And I'm seeing it's kind of a sense of excitement for you. It's almost like a joy or a thrill that I'm seeing. With triple spiral, listen to the divine wisdom and joyfully learning life's lessons. I feel like this person, specifically when you guys have had some time together, and something you find really hot about them is that they really listen to you. Like that tamer and that animal, that you guys develop that kind of relationship where it's like almost like a soul connection, if that makes sense. And so when you say words of wisdom to this person, they listen without a second, right? It's the only thing that kind of, how do I put this? They're so instinctual that it takes someone who has instinctual advice to give to them in order for them to listen. So it's like you have the ability to kind of like this cobra with the guy playing the flute and the cobra moving up, right, with the music. It's like I'm seeing you as the musician, or I'm seeing you as the one that makes the music, and you're the one hypnotizing the wild beast. You know, and in your music is essentially the wisdom that you give to this person. It's like you're the teacher, you're the person who's guiding them, you're the person who's bestowing that wisdom. And they themselves are the ones that are learning from you. They're learning these lessons, they're learning these things about how to live, how to be, how to interact, basically. Because they are so animalistic. They have kind of like a very raw nature. So it's interesting because I feel like they don't listen to anyone else. It's like they have this thing where they just, once they find you and they listen to you, they don't listen to anyone else. They may have listened to some people in the past because they're looking for that person to help kind of tame them. But for you, it's like when they find you, you're that voice that kind of makes them really want to like listen, if that makes sense. They follow every order, every command. And I'm saying order and command because I'm going along with this metaphor of you being the tamer and them being the animal. But you guys are going to have, obviously you're going to have a human to human relationship, right? It's just that they really listen to you. They follow you like, how do I put this? It's almost like if you say jump, they jump. If you say don't do that, they won't do that. And it's like, otherwise, if you're not there, they just follow pure animal instinct, right? But if you are there and you say something to them, they're going to listen. They're going to follow it like through and through, right? They're kind of totally, in a sense, under your control. And it's interesting because they are usually the ones that have other people under control, because people are very like, how do I put this without being like mean? People are like predictable in the sense that they follow people with animal instincts. They follow people with baser instincts and more like rough around the edges, kind of like wilder natures. And I'm definitely seeing that this person kind of rules in that domain, basically, where you kind of rule in the domain of like wisdom and intelligence and kind of like I see you in a sense as, I don't know if you guys view yourself this way, but it's almost like you have this superior mind compared to other people. It's like you're in the realm of like other humans or other intellectual humans, you have this ability to think on a higher level than other people. And so that's kind of why you two are meeting. It's like you're two kind of tips on two different pyramids, and you're kind of seeing each other over like the distance, and you're like, oh, that's the top point of that pyramid. You're the top point of this pyramid. And that's kind of how you guys kind of find each other. Another thing that you really love about them with forgiveness here, it says nothing is gained by holding on to past disappointments. And one thing that I'm seeing is this person is very forgiving. Like this person just kind of like, it's almost like it's interesting. They have this ability to forgive those who have hurt them in the past and treat them as if they're like a fresh slate, clean slate, right? So I definitely see if you're the type of person who kind of like, and it's not even about you. It's what I'm seeing is because I feel like you treat this person with respect. I feel like you treat this person with the care and compassion they need. But at the same time, with forgiveness, it's one of those things where I'm seeing that this person has this ability to forgive others. They don't hold grudges. And that's something that you find really admirable. I mean, I think that's why they have such a strong friend group, right? It's like if their friend commits a mistake, they look, how do I put this? They turn kind of a blind eye to certain mistakes that people make, and they have this sense of loyalty about them that easily lets them forgive people. Even if people attack them, and they love that person, they have an ability to forgive them, basically. Wow, your person sounds really interesting. Okay, so let's get some. Okay, that's too many. I'm pulling some of these back in. We're gonna just use those. Okay, so we're gonna pull these. These are the physical characteristics. This is kind of the fun part of the reading. This is basically going to be talking about what your future spouse, like what's hot about them. That's a physical characteristic. We already saw some physical characteristics about their animal instincts. I think they're going to look, of course this would come out because I'm talking about these instincts. Smell, right? This person is going to smell really good. They're going to smell with nature. They're going to smell wild. They're going to smell like, they're not going to have like, how do I put this? Normal body odor, if that makes sense. Like they're gonna have like a very natural smell to them. They're gonna smell like earth and pine and like ocean breeze and river water and salt, and they're gonna smell very much like the earth. Basically, they're gonna have this kind of like earthy component to them that they smell like. We also have voice. They're gonna have a very seductive voice, and what I'm seeing is like 2 with the voice card. This is something that I knew was gonna come out, and it's specifically referring to your voice too. It's like you have a really seductive voice, and they have a way of mirroring that voice back to you, if that makes sense. So there's something about with the voice here. It's like you both enjoy each other's voice. It's like you both have a seductive voice, basically. Kissing. So one way you're really gonna like find this person hot is kissing. I feel like this person kisses so passionately. This is the type of kissing that kind of like makes you weak at the knees. This is the type of kissing where you feel like you are in the presence of like, man, this is like, oh man. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of like feelings about this type of kissing, and I have experience in my life, kissing people like this, and it's just a very raw type of kiss, if that makes sense. Like there's a lot of emotional power behind it. There's a lot of ferocity behind it. I'm seeing that kissing with you guys is going to be very, very passionate. We also have skin. So something about kissing each other's skin is also coming through. And also skin in general. I feel like skin is really important to you guys as far as like how each other's skin looks. You guys might have really nice skin. I'm seeing that like a lot of you have really clear skin, or that like a lot of a lot of them, like your future spouse, people who are watching this, like they're gonna have a lot of clear skin or really beautiful skin. There's something about the way their skin smells and kissing their skin that's really important. Of course, we have eyes. I knew this was gonna come out because, their eyes are just so intense. I saw that before. We also have figure. Figure is coming through. I feel like their figure is very wild or animalistic. I've mentioned this before, but their figure is going to be one of those things that's very like hypnotizing. I think you're going to spend hours looking at this person. You're going to be amazed by their figure and their personality. I see their skin kind of glows too. With the tiger and the moon here, I'm seeing that right above skin, their skin kind of glows. They're going to have really nice hands. I'm seeing that their hands have somewhat of like a paw-like nature to them. Like they almost look animalistic in like a paw form. This person's definitely so in touch with their instincts. We have a couple others. We have back. They're going to have a really nice back, a really like muscular back for some of you. And for others of you, their back's going to have this like, I'm seeing that their back has like a design on it or something like that they could have like a tattoo on their back. I didn't get the tattoo card, but I am seeing that like with their back, it's like, I don't know. There's something about their back that's really, really nice. We also see that you like their eyebrows, and that makes sense with eyes. I feel like the eyes and the eyebrows just go hand in hand with this group, and they kind of like blend together. Like different from the previous group, their eyes and their eyebrows kind of link up in the same emotion. It's like their eyes and their eyebrows kind of do the same thing. I also see smile, and I'm seeing this is kind of interesting because I feel like this person has a smile that can be, you can really tell a lot by this person by their smile. Like at one point, their smile can be really jovial and fun and like loving. And then at other times, their smile can kind of seem like twisted a little bit, or like kind of like, I can't believe you said that kind of smile. Like, I'm just going to smile at you because to freak you out. Like I'm saying they use their smile. They can use their smile in a threatening way, but I see when they're around like really lovely company, or they're around their friends or their tribe, they're like tribe of like people that are like kind of animalistic too. I see their smiles really natural and carefree and fun. So they only reserve this threatening smile for like enemies. But I'm seeing that this kind of smile turns you on. Even the threatening smile they have, it's almost like you see it and you're like, oh, that it just turns you on. Talking is really important. I feel that you guys are going to have really amazing conversations. You're going to have really amazing moments where you're communicating. I feel like communication is a really big deal with this triple spiral, listening to divine wisdom and joyfully learning life's lessons. I feel like you guys are going to learn a lot from each other. In a lot of your downtime where you're just relaxing around like a tiger with its cub, or like a tiger with its tiger mate, I feel like you guys are going to have a lot of moments together where you're just relaxing and talking and sharing experiences about your day or philosophies on life. I'm seeing this person can really enjoy philosophy. I feel like they really enjoy your philosophy, and they really start to step up their game when you start speaking in philosophical terms to them. They really step up their game and like contribute like a lot of great ideas as well. So I'm going to give you guys a chance to take a screenshot of the words or the physical features if you want real quick, and then I'm going to move on to the tarot card portion of the video. Okay, now to the tarot card portion of the video. Let's get 4 tarot cards to represent this person and give us a little bit more info on this person. This person, group 3's future spouse. Let's see, we have 9 of Cups, the Fool. I'm going to draw from the middle of the deck now too. And we have Queen of Cups, and we have the High Priestess. Wow. I was getting intuitive energy when I was looking at the nature card, and as far as the nature card being boiling down to a 2, 7 and 4 making 11, and then 11 boiling down to 2. And so I'm kind of seeing that this person, they have a very instinctual intuition, right? Like this person senses things even with their eyes closed, if that makes sense. I'm seeing this really wonderful thing with you and this person, right? With forgiveness and 9 of Cups. I'm seeing this really beautiful moment where you may have said or done something to this person, and it could have been, it's something that you did out of anger or rage or your baser instincts is what I'm seeing. And I'm seeing that that's kind of something that you guys in this group might suffer with a little bit, is like suppression of your baser instincts. Or your more animal side. It's like you guys are so the human side of this connection, if that makes sense, and they're kind of the animal side. It's like one of those things where it's like when you show your animal side, you expect people to either run, or you expect people to kind of freak out or something like that, or you just don't expect people to forgive you for that. And I feel like most human people don't, but a lot of people in their friend group, and them included, especially them, really forgive those kind of baser animal instinct attacks or motives or something like that. So I see that they really appreciate your shadow in that way, that your shadow, when it comes out, that animalistic side of you that kind of comes out from time to time. I'm seeing that with the 9 of Cups here, they forgive you, and it's kind of one of these moments where you're like, oh man, I just ruined this. You probably think like, oh my gosh, I just ruined this connection. I ruined this relationship. This person's never going to want to marry me, or never going to want to be with me. And then like the next day they just call you up and they're like, hey, what's up? And you were just kind of like, I thought you wouldn't want to be with me after what you saw the other day. And they said, that? Like, no way, I've seen worse. And plus, that's just like part of your animalistic side, or that's just part of your nature. I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with dealing with that. I feel like with the tiger and the cobra, this person is like okay with dealing with those rougher emotions or those rougher moments in life. Basically, they're kind of like that, like, that's my bread and butter. Like, I deal with that every day, like, so I feel like that's one thing that's like really beautiful about this connection, and kind of makes you really appreciate this person. With the 9 of Cups, I see that this is kind of where the trust gets built. It's funny because the 9 of Cups doesn't really have to do with the usually it's like with the treasure chest here, I'd assume this means money and stuff like that. But for the most part, I'm seeing this as a wish fulfilled. Like, you finally met someone who has this way of understanding that raw part of you that you hardly show anyone, and that kind of comes out on accident sometimes, if that makes sense. So whenever that part of you that comes out on accident, it's like when you realize they're not going to leave you, it's like, whoa, this is the person for me, because they really can handle this side of myself that kind of comes out sometimes. With the Fool card, I'm seeing that this person, not only is your wish fulfilled, but with the Fool card, it's very spontaneous, very free. They have a trustful aspect, and this is kind of what makes them hot to you as well, is because they truly just trust whatever you say and they go with it. You know, they don't ask a lot of questions. I feel like a lot of people in your past have asked you a lot of questions when you say something, or maybe you give an order or a command, or you say like, hey, let's do this or let's do that, and people are like, no, I don't. Why would we want to do that? That might be something. That might be this, or that might be that. It's like, well, no, because I said it, and it's like, I know what I'm talking about. I feel like people watching this pile are kind of like very, like, in a way, you guys are kind of sure of yourselves in a sense. You kind of know, you know, what's good for people, or what's like healthy for the human body, or how to build the best sense of yourself as a human. And with the Fool card here, I'm seeing that this person really just fully trusts you. They fully fall into it. I'm also seeing this intuitive thing too here. I'm definitely seeing this person compared with you, like once they get your wisdom and your life wisdom and your lessons and stuff, they build this kind of like deep intuition, right? They build this sense of deep intuition. And with the High Priestess here, it's like this intuition like doesn't lead them in the wrong direction, you know, and it's based off their instincts too. It's like one of those things where it's an intuition based off their animal instincts. I'm surprised we didn't get the Moon here, because the Moon is that kind of intuition based off animal instincts, you know, but we did get the High Priestess showing that there is a sense of like sophistication to this intuition that is not just like pure wild animal instinct in a sense. With the Queen of Cups here, it's interesting because this cup, she's like surrendering to this cup. And so that's another thing that I'm seeing again here. I'm seeing a lot about surrendering. And so this person really surrenders to you. They surrender their like whole world to you. They're saying like, you know what, I'm going to follow you. Whatever you want, I follow. Like, you're the one that like makes the decisions. You're the one that makes the deal. You're the one that makes the path forward. Like, I surrender to you. And so I'm just seeing like triple confirmation of that. That's coming through is very important. I feel like this person is very loyal to you. I feel like this person, yeah, that's just something that you guys learned, or I feel like you might learn to find that really attractive or something like that. I think it might be a shock at first to see that someone's like listening to you so fully and wholeheartedly, but really it's true. Like, you're the one that they kind of like fully focus on and listen to. It's interesting because their friends, their other friends that are like animalistic like they are, they listen to them fully. You know, they're the pack leader, right? Harmony in the home and great friendships, they have a solid community that they're working with, you know, and they really just want to listen to you. It's like your intuitive guidance kind of helps them build their intuition, and kind of helps them use their intuition with their pack or their animal pack, you know, their friends. So yeah, that's all I'm seeing for group 3. If you really like this reading, or if you like this reading, please like or comment below. If you really like this reading, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I post pick-a cards like this once every 1 to 2 weeks. With that said, we're going to move on to the 4th group with the pink Kunzite. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Hey, group 4, this is if you picked the pink Kunzite. Really pretty stone. So let's get into your reading. It's funny, in the last group, I referenced a wolf pack like the whole time, and then we get a wolf in this group. So I'm seeing that like the groups kind of do build off each other a little bit in this particular reading. So maybe a lot of your future spouses are friends with each other or something like that. But I am seeing a few things here. This person that's your future spouse, one thing you find really hot about them, we're going to be talking about a lot about the psychology of them in this part of the reading, and then I'm going to get into their physical characteristics. But with pride here, I feel like this person has been through a lot, and so they have this sense of pride of like what they've been through or where they've come from, and they have this sense of pride about them that it's interesting. We're seeing the root chakra right here with the red star, and then on the outside there's the purple color, and I'm seeing that as the crown chakra. And one thing, it's like interesting, I'm seeing that they have this inner flame of like survival instinct that's interesting to them. But with pride, it's like they have this sense of pride that they're kind of coming from a really grounded place, but at the same time they're headed towards a very cosmic energy. This is someone who I will say is extremely spiritual. We see this again with the Phoenix card representing, this is the element of spirit, this circle in this deck. There's only 7 cards in this whole deck that represent the spirit element, and they're all a different chakra. And the Phoenix is the root chakra. And the one thing I am seeing, like the whole idea of the Phoenix rising or the Phoenix transforming, the Phoenix kind of goes from like this little bird, right? And grows all the way up, and then when it bursts into ash and dies, then out of the ashes the new phoenix is born. It like kind of goes through this constant cycle of death and rebirth. And one thing that I'm seeing is all these changes and all these processes that this person has gone through has given them a strong sense of pride in their life, in their grit, in their determination to succeed. It's just given them a sense of pride in their life. And I don't want to say grit and determination exactly, because this could be pride in a lot of other realms too. Like spiritually, this person has probably gone through having a lot of different spiritual gifts. They could have had a phase of their life where they were very psychic or psychically in tune or could read people's thoughts. Maybe they burnt out of that gift and they came into an empathic gift where they could start reading people's emotions instead of their thoughts. Maybe at another time they grew out of that and they grew into something else where they kind of had a new, different kind of ability. The Phoenix is also kind of reminding me of the Death card in Tarot as well. And so I'm definitely seeing that they've had these different kind of chapters in their life where they've left something behind and gotten something new instead. But the thing is, they have all the memories and the experiences of all these situations, of all these spiritual gifts, of all these things that they've worked through. And that's where they get this sense of pride. It's like they have this sense of like, they know what's up, basically. They have this aura about them where they know what's up. They've been through enough life situations. They've had enough transformations in their life where they have this sense of pride of like, I know what's up. I've been there before. I've done that. Like, you know, bring it on, you know. With the wolf, I see this person is also a wolf pack leader. I am seeing these shadow elements in these cards, right? With these dark, and then I'm also seeing the fire and the yellow. I'm seeing it in both the wolf and the phoenix. So reds, yellows, and blacks might be important to this person or might be important to you. I see that this person has this way of kind of like setting fire to the shadows in people. And I know that's kind of like metaphorical, but bear with me. It's like if someone has a dark thing in their past, or if someone has a dark shadow in their soul or something like that, this person is the type of person who can purify it with like pure intensity of flame, basically. I feel like this person has this way of digging into people's psyches and kind of like uncovering the darkness there and then purifying it, basically saying like banishing it, basically. This person spiritually may have been even involved in like doing exorcisms or something like that, like with people, or they may have this ability to kind of like heal others or banish spirits out of other people, or they have some kind of like spiritual warrior type aspects to them where they have this way of like healing people on a like really drastic level, like really getting into their psyche and digging into them and kind of like healing their soul. Let's look at these kind of making magic cards. These are going to give us a little bit more about their gifts. And the one I just talked about was more like this fire gift. It says the element of fire heralds new life, renewed passion, and positive transformation. So I am seeing that they do this to themselves. They dig into themselves and transform themselves. And with this sense of fire, they also transform others, you know. With fire, it's interesting because fire, you can get burned. It's one of the more destructive elements, how I imagine it. It provides a lot of warmth. So I see this person as kind of being like somewhat warm and kind of like maybe not enthusiastic, but having a sense of warmth to them, like passion or, you know, excitement or something to them. But at the same time, I can see them easily in some ways burning other people in the process of healing them, even though it does effectively heal them in the long run, if that makes sense. It's like part of the process. And it really causes that transformation. I feel like they can be, because they know how to be reborn from their own ashes, they know other people can too. It's just not that many other people in our life have taken that leap to be reborn again. And so something that I am also seeing with the Pride card is they have this sense of like, they've pretty much been in all these situations that other people are in. And so they have this ability to like, but instead of like teaching them or guiding them, they kind of like make them go through the same transformation they went through, you know? They know they can survive it and they know other people can survive these transformations. So they kind of go push them through those to get them to change in a sense. With Tree of Life, we have true wisdom in making good choices in life. I feel like this kind of ability to kind of transform others kind of helps make other people make good choices in life. And I know I discounted the teaching thing because I really think that they do transform others. I feel for some people, if they can't transform them or they can't really dig into their soul and heal them that way. With the wolf card, I am thinking of the wolf as knowledge or wisdom. And with the tree of life, this is bringing up wisdom again. I see that this person helps people grow by sharing their wisdom with them. So we're not going to rule it out, right? This person also has a way of sharing wisdom and teaching others and making sure that others can grow from that process of sharing that wisdom. It's just they prefer to really dig into someone and transform their soul through the red hot crucible of like fire and the power of magical transformation, right? But this person with pride, they just have a sense of pride. They've kind of like been there before. They've done that. They kind of know what's up. They know where they're going. You know, they kind of have this ability to kind of like know those things in life. We also have this woman here, and she is she's reaching out, and there's like shooting stars in the distance, and she's reaching out to catch these stars. I see this person is this with the star card, with the star over here, it says the silver energy of the star brings good luck and serendipity. I'm seeing it combined with this new love card where it says embrace an opportunity for love in your work prospects or for spiritual growth. So one thing that I am seeing is that there is this sense of like grasping opportunities or seeing the next thing that comes along or seeing the next thing on their path. They're definitely very aware, this person, your future spouse, of what's the next thing to do, what's the next move to make. And I definitely see they grasp on these opportunities. Like they might see a shooting star in the sky. They're always that person that spots the shooting star in the sky. And it's kind of a bigger metaphor for their life because they have this ability to spot that opportunity when it comes and take hold of it right off the bat. They have that good sense of like, I kind of see them almost in a sense like this, like a fisherman, like casting the line and like waiting for the right fish to grab or something like that. Or they kind of always take their shot when they know it's the right time to take their shot. And I'm also seeing with new love and spiritual growth being represented here, I feel like them kind of transforming their body and creating a new like way of loving others is important for them as well. It's not only that they love others, which they do, it's like every time they transform, they kind of like have a new way of loving other people. The way they love is different every single time. And it's like interesting how this operates because I'm seeing as like for you guys watching this, I feel like you're the type of people who might actually want a little bit of variety in your partner, or you want someone who's multifaceted or something like that. And I'm seeing that this person has this ability to show you and love you in different ways. It's like you might get bored of the same kind of love. Like, for example, you might be the type of people whose love language is always shifting, basically because it's some need that you're not getting, right? So for example, maybe you're the type of person who has all 5 love languages, and every time you take the love language test, it's like one time you're giving gifts, and then the next time you're quality time, and the next one you're like, what's the other one? I always forget what these are. Acts of service or something like that. This person has different ways of showing love that gets cycled through with their transformation. So when they transform, and I've seen that they've transformed multiple times in their life, you know, like roughly I'm seeing like 7 to like 14 times in, you know, for like a 30-year period or something like that. Like they have these transformations and they kind of start to show love in different ways. They become a different person in those different times. They have this way of like, also, if you're watching this pile and you want to transform yourself, or you're kind of confused, or you feel like stuck in your own personality for so long and you want to transform your personality, become someone different, become a better version of yourself, this is the type of person who's going to go and dig into your shadows and heal those shadows and get you to transform. They help you rise from the ashes. Like I said with the fire card, and maybe that's why I put such an emphasis on it, because I feel like for you guys, you don't need someone to teach you how to do things. You need someone to help you to transform. And so I'm seeing that's something that you find really hot about your future spouse is whenever you need that transformation process, they kind of walk you through it or go through it with you. Even if sometimes it can be a little painful, you come out on the other end a more enlightened, a more brighter version of yourself, basically. Yeah, we see that with the star and fire here, that sense of being bright, shining brightly. So very cool. Let's get into some physical characteristics about them, and we'll see what physically, we will see what are some things that you appreciate about them. So we have nose here, which is interesting. Something about their nose is the type of nose that you like with someone else. So I feel like this nose thing is really important because I feel like something about your guys' noses match each other, if that makes sense. Like you guys have a way of like your noses match or they coalesce into like a really nice shape or something like that. Or if you have kids, your children are going to have these like beautiful noses based on your guys' noses. With hair, they have really beautiful hair. And with the Phoenix card and the Wolf card here, I am seeing that their hair might have fiery hints to it. Like they might like to dye their hair red and yellow, or red and blonde, or red and bleach blonde, or something like that, mixed with like a darker tone. Like they might have a tri-colored hair or something like that. I see that this person most often would have dyed hair with these colors coming out and stuff. So that's something that I'm seeing. Tough. Okay, something else is that this person is tough. They have a tough personality. They have a tough persona. And physically, they might actually be really tough as well. Like this person, they have this way of having like a build that looks tough. Like they have this kind of, with pride too, it's like they have this ability to be like, you know, I've been there. I know what's up. Like they have this tough kind of take on the world attitude. We also have butt. This person has a really nice butt. I feel like you're really going to enjoy their butt. Something that's coming through for this group particularly, I feel like you guys are going to enjoy slapping each other's butts or something like that. I don't know why that's coming through for this group. I'm going to move on because butt's pretty self-explanatory. With taste, this person has like, you like the way they taste in a sense. I feel like this person like, okay, this is, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm without getting into too much detail, I'm not going to get explicit with it, but this is the group where sex is really important in this connection. Things that make your spouse hot to you are things that are like sexual things. And so taste kind of goes along with that. So I'm not going to do any more about that. Also with the same topic, I was just talking about movement, how you guys move when you're in bed with each other is really important. Here's one. Okay, so walk. How they walk is, how do I put this? They walk in like different ways all the time is what I'm seeing. It's like one time they'll be walking elegantly, another time they'll be walking kind of stockily or something like that. Or the other times they're walking with kind of like a sway or something like that. But this also is talking about the fact that maybe you guys enjoy going on walks with each other, but there's something about the way they walk that turns you on. Like you like to watch them from behind as they walk or how they move or something like that, especially with movement. There's something about how they move in particular that's like really graceful or beautiful or something like that. So yeah, I'm going to let you guys take a picture of the words too, if you want to keep those words for yourself or take a screenshot. And then I will move into the last portion with the tarot cards. So let's do that right now. And we're going to get these tarot cards and we are going to take 4 tarot cards to get a little bit more information about them for you. For your future spouse. Seeing some cards. I saw one of the swords cards. I don't know which one it was. One of the court cards for the swords. So either King of Swords or Queen of Swords. What's coming through for some of you? This person might be very straightforward. They might be very trendy or know what's going on with the trends of the time. Okay, so let's see. We have the Emperor. We have of course, the Death card comes out. That is totally pro with the Phoenix. Okay, we have the 7 of Pentacles. We can move these down probably. And then we also have the 2 of Wands. Oh, okay. I'm seeing some stuff with the 2 of Wands and the Phoenix card. Mainly that this person, they really plan out their attacks when they want to transform themselves or transform others. Like it's one of those things where they kind of study it in advance. It's like when they're planning on making a move or changing themselves, they kind of study it very, very like almost like vigorously is the word that's coming to mind, but they really plan ahead their next move in their next chapter. There's a lot of planning and forethought that goes into it. And also when they're making a move on someone else, they're planning on transforming someone else, they have a lot of battle plans that go into that, where they are kind of planning ahead of time of how they're going to transform a person, how they're going to get involved with the person. And I'm specifically seeing the fire element with, like I was talking about the transformation. That's kind of like how they transform people. They make a battle plan ahead of time and then they dig into them and they get them them to transform, and they transform themselves as well. With the Emperor card and New Love, or with just the Emperor card in general, I'm seeing this person as a very authoritative figure. They have kind of like a authoritative personality with Pride here, and with the Emperor being Aries, I'm seeing that they might have Aries placements. They might actually have a sense of pride. It's interesting. I'm feeling like this person sees life like a game of chess with the chess piece here. They kind of see moves and counter moves and stuff like that. And they're kind of like always playing kind of like a game with others in a sense. Yeah, it's interesting because I see that like they have so much knowledge about the world and life and things. And with the Wolf card here, that wisdom comes through oftentimes when they're communicating with people. I feel like with the Wolf, they have like a pack. They have like a group of people very similar to the previous group of like friends and stuff like that. And with Death and Rebirth, it's interesting because I'm seeing that I'm getting two contradictory messages. And it's interesting because sometimes that happens to me in readings and they literally will be opposite each other. And that's what I'm getting now. So I apologize for you guys. I know some people don't like contradictory messages, but I apologize, but this is coming through for a reason. This group is probably split. For some of you, their friend group or their pack lasts through their changes. So one thing, they're when they change through their periods, their friend group stays the same, right? Their friend group stays the same. For others of you, here's the contradictory message. As they change or transform, they change their relationships as well. They change their environment too. They change kind of like different things about their life as well. So that's coming through for some of you. I am seeing though that the wolf is kind of reminding me of a loyal creature, kind of like a loyal animal. So one thing that I am seeing with the Death and Rebirth card kind of combined is that they might actually have loyalty to people from previous chapters, even though they've transformed themselves. So that's something that's coming through. I know there's a contradictory message of they change their friends a lot too, or they might adapt. It's almost, the thing I'm getting, to be honest, is like, they actually they latch on to new friends from different chapters of their life. It's like once they've gone through a transformation, each transformation, they kind of collect a specific person to represent that kind of transformation in their life. It's part of the reason why they are so easily and can easily remember these different parts of their lives, is because they have a specific person from all these different chapters of their life. And so they kind of use those people to help them remember. You know, I'm seeing the Death card, mainly this Death card with the hood. This is where the head is, right? And there's this empty space and there's this sense of forest. I'm imagining this wolf living in this forest inside this hood, you know, and kind of roaming around, kind of like my pack is in my mind, or like the people I love are in my mind, or something like that. This person might actually be very psychic. Something else that's coming through, this person might be very psychic. One thing that I'm seeing with the Seven of Pentacles, this person has the long game in mind, right? With they're planning, they have the long game in mind. They know how to like save for kind of like a rainy day. You know, the Seven of Pentacles reminds me of like, they know how to make things grow. They know how to nurture things. They have that nurturing component. So something else you find hot about them is they have this kind of nurturing, kind of like gardener, caretaker vibe to their friends and stuff like that. I think that's all I'm seeing for this group. If you like this reading, please like or comment below. If you really enjoyed this reading, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I post pick-a cards like this once every 1 to 2 weeks. With that said, we're going to move on to the last group, Group 5 with the Stillbite. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Hey, Group 5. This is if you picked the Stillbite. So kind of a peachy, kind of lovely stone there. Okay, so let us get into your reading. You guys had a lot of cards that came out for your pile. I mean, we had 4, an extra card in the Making Magic card, and then for these cards, we had 3 pop out, and I wanted to take them all or show you them all just because I'm going to put them, like, layer them on each other, like, so we can have all 3 of them kind of lining up. But, yeah, let's see. So first of all, we have number 78, Spiritual Career, 81, Leadership, and 10, Karmic Completion. So 7 and 8, I think, adds up to 15, and then 15 adds up to 6. We have the number 6 here, we have the number 9, and the number 1. So if those are important to you, also 8s might be important to you, and 1s might be important to you. So I'm gonna move these cards up here, kind of layered on top of each other, so we can kind of see all of the words basically right there. And then we'll move these in, and I'll move these like this. Okay, so now that we have everything all set up, whoa, just knocked the stand over almost. Okay, last group, let's see. So let's get into this reading. This person, your future spouse, has certain gifts very similar to my gifts, ironically enough. So let's get into some of those. I'll start with those gifts since they'll be the easiest to talk about. So octopus right here, we have a creature who is a water creature, intuitive creature, and they have this kind of glowing, multifaceted brain with all these colors in it. You can think of it as like a giant party in the mind, right? And all these tentacles are outreaching and going to different locations, right? These lights represent, each of those lights in this head represents a tentacle that's attached to something outside of itself. So for example, this person has this ability to kind of like reach out with their tentacles, for example, and kind of attract like little things into their life or into their mind based on what they're feeling from their environment. So this person's very empathetic, we'll put it that way. They're very empathetic. They can really reach out to others and kind of attract and collect different vibes in their environment and collect them in their inner head. This person's coming out is very interesting because on one hand we have the oyster, which is like a shell and a clammed up person and like a very protected version of themselves. And then on the other hand, we have this octopus with this very soft creature, malleable kind of skin and stuff. And then it has these tentacles that reach out everywhere. So one thing that I'm seeing with your person, something you find very attractive about them, is they have this ability to kind of attach themselves to everything in their life and absorb all the positive stuff with those rainbow colors. And then they also have the ability to protect themselves from harmful influences. They have a very strong sense of protection from the world around them. So for example, with protection here, strong protective magic for the family and the home, something you really love about them is how protective they are of the family and the home. This person is very like, creates force fields and shields around those they love and kind of keeps them blocked off from any negative or harmful things in their environment. So I'm definitely seeing that's one of their gifts is protection. They have this ability to protect others. They have this ability to kind of shield them from certain things. So there's this sense of a shielding ability here. With octopus here also, we have this ability where this person has like little tentacles that come out, right? And they attach to everyone in their environment. So they're aware of what everyone else is thinking, and they're kind of always absorbing that energy into their own mind. We see that your future spouse, it's interesting, with love charm here, attract a lover, soulmate, or life partner. We see that your future spouse is actually right now manifesting you or trying to manifest you. With love charm, I see that they do a good job at manifesting partners. So one of those things is, let me put it this way. If they're not manifesting you now, when they do, you'll soon know that they manifested you because they're the type of person who's kind of in control of their love life. It's like when they want to manifest someone, they can manifest someone. If they don't, they don't. It's kind of like they have total control over it and they can kind of bring you in or bring you out whenever they want to, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I feel like this person with the love charm here, they can manifest you when they feel like they want you, basically. They have that kind of ability. With wishes come true, rapid achievement of your dreams and wishes, I feel like this person has this ability to, when they set their mind on something, they can really easily achieve it. They have this ability to have their wishes come true in a very easy and effortless way, basically. With healing, true healing of the mind, body, and soul, I feel like this person, on one hand, they have multiple ways of healing. First of all, we have 2 water signs here too, so very intuitive. I'm sensing like, they might be like me with a lot of 8th house placements. I have a lot of 8th house placements. But they also might just be someone who, with healing, I'm seeing someone who takes from other people with the tentacles here and is able to heal their inner mind through experiences with others. So they kind of adapt to their environment in a sense, but at the same time, they're kind of using one tentacle to grab someone or some energy from somewhere else. And they're kind of collectively grabbing all these energies to create the harmony in their own mind. And then I also see with healing here, they're also have this oyster ability where they clam up and close up. So I definitely see that when they have that beautiful mind or that beautiful energy in their mind, they create a force field around them so no one can take that energy from them, basically. I see that they can also use this energy that they kind of collect and store and inside of themselves, like an oyster kind of creates like a pearl, right? They have this ability to collect and store that energy to create something really beautiful that they can then share with the world. I feel like they really share these beautiful moments with only a very few specific people. So you're very lucky if you're one of those people that gets to see the beautiful side of them, the pure energy that they've collected that they're sharing with you. I think that's a very special trait, and I think that you're really going to treasure it. It's something that you're going to find really hot about them. Something else, they have a really strong sense of leadership. This person might also have a spiritual career. So this person might do something with, like, for example, tarot cards or crystal healing or Reiki or anything. They could be a psychic. They could be a medium. They could have, they have a very strong spiritual side. And with karmic completion, I feel like this person is here to settle some karmic debts from their past. So don't be surprised if your future spouse kind of has a lot of things that they need to work through even after they meet you. There's like a lot of lessons they still have to learn in this lifetime. They kind of came to this lifetime to learn a whole bunch in one go, basically. And so I'm definitely saying that's something that you also feel is like hot about them. They have a way of helping others with their karmic life lessons as well. So there's this kind of sense of like having that wisdom to show people the way and stuff like that. With turn on your heart light, reflect on a time when you experienced love. I feel like you guys both are going to really enjoy, and something you're going to find really hot about your spouse is both remembering moments when you both felt love from others. That's something that's really coming through here. Is kind of like sharing the kind of like moments where you like, you know, I remember when so-and-so did this for me and that was so sweet and caring, or I remember when so-and-so did this, or remember when that happened, wasn't that a beautiful moment? I feel like memories are going to be really important for this group, and especially because I'm seeing these lights in this head of this octopus. I feel like this person is very memory focused. This person could be a Cancer. I'm getting very much Cancer vibes with the oyster and the octopus. So that's something that's coming through as well. Let's move on to the physical characteristics. So let's see what physical characteristics this person has that you like about them. Take some of these back. There we go. Okay, this should be good. Okay, so we're going to move these to the side. I'm going to pull them. So first of all, movement. You really like the way this person moves. With octopus here, it's interesting because I'm seeing how they move in interaction with others is really important. Also facial hair. I feel like when this person grows out their facial hair, you're really into their facial hair. This person has like a really strong sense of like a really thick, full beard or something like that. We also have chest. I feel like you really enjoy this person's chest. This person, if they're a woman, they're very well endowed in their chest. And if they're a man, they have really like nice pecs. So there's something about, oh my gosh, there's even something about their like nipples being really nice or something like that. So if that's for some of you. With hips, they have really beautiful hips. They have like these kind of elegant hips. I'm seeing that their hips kind of sway a little bit is what I'm seeing. And also calves. They have these really beautiful calves. In a sense, their calves are like, with the oyster and the pearls here, their calves kind of are like pearls of their own. You know, it's like, you could kind of see like pearls under their calves or something like that. There's some kind of metaphor of that regard where their calves are kind of really hide. They're kind of like the gems of them or something. And also smell. I feel like this person could smell like fresh water. We're seeing that with the octopus and the oyster here. They have this smell where they smell like a fresh stream or something like that. There's something about refreshing about the way they smell. It's almost like you're drinking a glass of water on like a hot day when you smell them or something like that. Also talking came out in most of the groups today, so maybe this is just like a common theme, but talking is going to be really important for you guys as far as like communication. You're going to really enjoy just conversing with this person. And you know, this is coming through for this group specifically. I'm hearing that like dirty talk is really important. This is something you're going to find really hot about this person, is the way they like talk dirty to you or something like that. Also legs. This person has really nice legs. Yeah, I'm seeing that with octopus here. I think all their limbs are really nice. Their limbs in general are like really nice, like beautiful limbs like that they have. And then we also have feet here. So they have really nice feet. You might really like their feet. Man, feet came up in all the groups actually. Interesting. So maybe everyone's just really taking care of their feet, you know, like lots of pedicures and, keep those feet nice, I guess. So let's see. So I'm going to give you a chance if you want to take a screenshot of the words here, because otherwise I'm going to move them off the screen. I'll do that now because I'm going to move the tarot cards on for the last little bit of the reading. So we're going to get 4 tarot cards here for the last little bit of the reading to further clarify things about your person. We have the Chariot, the 6 of Cups, the Page of Wands, and we have the Queen of Swords. Yeah, the Queen of Swords kind of flipped up upright. I don't know if that was in this pile or the last one, but it kind of came up. I kind of knew it was coming. And so maybe that was just, a little moment for me to kind of see what's happening in the reading. But let's get into this. With the Queen of Swords, I'm seeing this person has a very high perspective on life, a very high vantage point of like life and situations. The Queen of Swords also always reminds me of someone who has this ability to kind of see above the trends of thoughts in their environment and kind of like where the winds of change are going in the intellectual sphere of the world, basically. And so something about that, this person's very tapped in. With the octopus, I feel like with all these tentacles going all over the place and like latching on to all these different people, they have this way of picking up on trends for whatever thing they have their little tentacle in. It's like it creates this picture of the world in their mind, basically. With Page of Wands, I feel like this person is very like, I'm seeing this person as being like fashion forward, or this person, something that turns you on about them is the way they dress. They have this way or very unique way of fashion or like dressing themselves that's very like extreme or extravagant or something like that. And also their exuberance. I feel like this person, when they have their positive energy, I feel like their positive energy is very infectious. And so I'm seeing that something about their exuberance is really like attractive to you, or something that's really hot to you. With 6 of Cups here and right over where the oyster card is, I'm seeing a few things. Well, first of all, turn on your heart light. This is kind of linking up with that. Is that this sense of memories or nostalgia, or kind of doing things that you both, I'm seeing with your future spouse, it's like you're both doing things together that are things that made you feel really nostalgic in your past. And so I'm seeing that something that is really attractive to you about them, or that you find really hot, is that you both have similar pasts in a sense. It's like you may have grown up in different locations or different environments, but you have certain things in your past that are very similar to the other one's past. And so you have this way of connecting with each other. Like you both have known each other for your whole lives, but maybe you didn't like necessarily haven't, And I feel like these moments are going to come very once in a blue moon. With the oyster card, it's like, with that sense of kind of like the clam opening and closing, right? It's like those pearls are going to be presented every once in a while. And that's kind of coming through as being presented to you. I also see that the memories too with the Chariot, and the Chariot's kind of also reminding me, that's also Cancer energy. So this is a lot of confirmation that this person's probably a Cancer. But one thing that I'm seeing with turn on your heart light and the memories and stuff, and like looking at memories of what you experienced in love and stuff like that, that's also going to affect their motivation. I see that's something that you also find really you really like about them, is their sense of motivation, is their sense of energy, their ability to kind of go with the flow. With the Queen of Swords here, go with the flow and kind of follow the trends of what's going on. But at the same time with the Chariot, it's like just their pure sense of motivation, basically. I want to get more, I wanted to read more for this pile, but I am going to have to stop this group a little early, and that's just because like my body is like so over, like you guys know, if you if you know me as a reader, you know that as I do readings I overheat like really easily, and so my body is like very, very hot right now. Like it's just very, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's I feel like a volcano inside me, so I have to kind of leave you guys today. Sorry to cut the reading short, but if you like this reading, please like or comment below. If you really like this reading, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I post pick a cards like this once every 1 to 2 weeks. With that said, that was the last pick a card for today. I really enjoyed reading for you guys. It was a pleasure. I will see you in the next one, and sayonara, goodbye, and see you later.